Hola amigos, this is Somveer and welcome to CodePipe. We are in the middle of designing and hosting e-commerce website course. In the last section, we have seen how to design a brief and how to design the UI UX of the website. Now we will see how to design the front end. So let's get started. So first of all, we need to download and install VS Code. I am using VS Code out of personal preference, but if you are familiar with any other editor, it will work for you. Then we will see how to initialize Django application. Then we will design our desktop view, and then we will design mobile responsive view. So front end design will consist all of this. In this video, we will be installing VS Code, which will be a very minimal setup, and we can use that setup in mostly every Python script or other projects. First of all, let's download the VS Code. If we search for VS Code download, the first website will provide us the link to download it. Upon entering the website, we will see these options. We can download it for whatever version of Windows or Linux or Apple we are using. So we'll go for user install 64-bit for Windows. We will get to this page and the download will start automatically. Also on this page, we can have a look at some of the documentation about how to get started, what are the top extensions, and etc. This is the pop-up from our download, so we will save it on desktop for now. While this is downloading, if you are wondering why I am using only VS Code, why not other editors, I have made a video on this. You will find on the top right corner. Please have a look if you want to. As our setup file is downloaded, let's open this. Let's continue with the installation. Looks like I already have the folder, but I uninstalled the VS Code, so I will overwrite it. On this page, let's select all of this. These are menus for if we right click on a file, it will give us an option to open with code. So let's do next. Let's install this. Let's finish our installation and it will launch our VS Code. So this is the initial page which VS Code will show. Actually, I have reinstalled the VS Code, so I am able to see some of my previous settings and folders. But this side is initial for everyone. So let me tell you what all you can do when you are installing or initializing the VS Code for the first time. First of all, you can go for the color theme. There are different color themes. If we go for dark, if we want some other theme, we can go for it. Let me go for this only. Next thing to do is we need to install support for our language, which is here. So if we want to install support for Python, we can click here. If we want for JavaScript, we can click here. Python is already installed, so let me give you an example with Java. If I click on here, it is giving a pop-up saying the window will reload after installing the support. So we can install support like this. Next thing we need to do is we need to install extensions. There are two ways of getting the extensions. First is clicking on this button, so it will give us a panel of extensions, and the next will be if we go on file, preferences, extensions. So this will give us all the extensions from VS Code. We can install some important libraries or extensions like Python, Django support, HTML, CSS, completion, kite, etc. But if you want to explore them, you can try and install all the extensions you want. The next thing in VS Code is interpreter. So there are two ways of getting the interpreter. First one is if we go for terminal. The two ways of using interpreter or virtual environment in VS Code is we can use this CMD, which we can activate using this. So if we click here, we can get different options: PowerShell, command prompt, Git bash. I am familiar with command prompt, so I use command prompt. We can initialize and set up our virtual environment using CMD. Also, if we see here, we will see Python 3.9.1. So this is also a way to use the interpreter. So if I click on this, we will get different virtual environments in our system. So basically which is installed on our path. So we can use any one of this. So I will use this ecom one which we are using currently. Now whatever code we are running in our VS Code, it will run in this virtual environment. So these two are the ways in which we can set up the interpreter or virtual environment in VS Code. So summarizing what we need to do to initialize VS Code, we can change the color theme, we can install language support, we can install extensions, and we can use virtual environment for our Python scripts or any other language. This is very minimal setup, and I recommend you to explore VS Code and set it up according to your preference and like. With this, I conclude my video here. If you are new to the channel, I upload videos on every Sunday regarding Python, web development and Django. Hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out videos. Give us a thumbs up. Let me know your comments in the comment section. We will meet very soon with a new video. Until then, this is Somveer taking your leave. Adios.